for many centuries, the Pope has claimed to be the owner of the entire world. And this started with a bogus document, actually a fraud back in the Middle Ages, where the church produced a document called the Donation of Constantine. Constantine was the emperor who made Christianity legal in the 4th century, in 312 AD. And the document claimed, it was called the Donation of Constantine, and it claimed that Emperor Constantine handed over all of the land of the entire Roman Empire to the Roman Catholic Church before he died. In fact, it was a fraud because the document was written 600 years after Constantine, so it was proven to be a forgery. And yet this forgery was used by the Catholic Church to justify its claim that it owned the entire world, even though Constantine obviously didn't own the entire world, just Western Europe, but they used that to justify it. So later in the 1400s, Pope Nicholas creates this bill called Romanus Pontifex that says that the entire world is owned by the Catholic Church, and he can take it away from any non-Christian and give it to any Christian he wants, which is what he did. He said any Christian can go and conquer the entire world and take it from non-Christians, and it's fine because it's already owned by the Pope. Later, he then divided, or the next Pope, in the Inter Bull in 1493, Pope Alexander divided the world between Spain and Portugal. Spain got everything in the Western Hemisphere, Portugal got everything in the Eastern Hemisphere, Africa, Asia, everything else. So that was all based on this bogus notion that, you know, the Pope and the papacy owned the entire world based on a forged document. So they still claim that to this day.
Was there no opposition to this? Nobody opposed it? Well, who would oppose it?
Who will oppose the Vatican today? The American government just said that they support the claim of the Pope that he's diplomatically immune to any criminal charges. So, I mean, the governments are owned by the Vatican. That's the important thing to understand. They were established under papal edict. You know, the Crown of England is a subsidiary of the Vatican. We began to learn this when you start looking through the old documents and everything.
So the people, the public, have no say in any of this. In other words, they just follow it along.
How could they?
Well, how would the Pope? Why would the Pope feel that he could own the land? Because they had the government on his side?
No, because their belief was that St. Peter was appointed by Christ to be the head of the church, and the church owns the entire world because God's made it that way. I mean, that's in essence what the Catholic Church has always claimed.
Say that again?
St. Peter is delegated by Christ himself to establish the church. The church owns the world because God wants it that way. I mean, that's the basic claim still to this day.
Meaning this is all hearsay. This
totally hearsay, because Jesus, if he existed, and again the verdict is out on that, whether he even existed, and there's no evidence at all except from Christian sources that he ever made Peter the first pope. He had no notion of establishing a church.
So this was all built on falsehood right from the beginning.
It's all built on a lie from the beginning and forged documents.
Where did it enter the realm of reality and truth?
I don't think it ever has, but enough people believe a lie and it becomes true.